Every now and then, a new game is announced that really captures my attention. It might have incredible combat, a beautiful graphical style, an incredible open world to explore, or insanely hot waifus. If you couldn't already tell from the thumbnail, this game has insanely hot waifus. Echocalypse the Scarlet Covenant is a 2D post-apocalyptic strategy mobile RPG that I have been eagerly anticipating for over a year now. Players take on the role of an awakener and will lead Kimono Girl Cases, the last hope of humanity, in a desperate struggle for survival. I've been trying to get my hands on Echocalypse all year, so when the studio behind the game reached out to me and offered me to take a sponsored look at the game ahead of its release, I was ecstatic, and I had to say yeah. This was my opportunity to finally get real hands-on access and see if it lived up to the hype I had for it. With this in mind, if Echocalypse looks like something that you'd be at all interested in, and I mean, you watch my videos, so evidently this is a game that you would be very interested in playing, then I urge you to go ahead, click the link in the description and the pinned comment below to download the game now and come join me. I also have a gift code on screen that you can see right now to redeem for some really sick goodies. Now let's go ahead and talk about the game. Echocalypse is an idle RPG. What this means is that you're capable of downloading it on your PC or mobile device and playing it, or letting AI take over and play the game for you, coming back to continue the story, level your characters, equip new gear on them, upgrade them. This allows for you to either directly control the outcome of battles and play the game as a main game, or continue it on the side when you're busy at work, out with friends, watching a movie, or playing another game. Echocalypse is set in a post-apocalyptic world. You as the Awakener recruit Kimono Girl Cases, which are waifus, and you command them in battle, attempting to survive this new world. The game is very traditional. You're presented with an overworld map via the Expedition game mode, featuring what is the equivalent of chapters, sub-chapters, and encounters. Chapters consist of 5 sub-chapters, and every sub-chapter consists of numerous encounters. After selecting a chapter, players will navigate horizontally, making their way to one of several NPCs to do battle. Battle is completely auto with the exception of ability usage. You deploy 6 characters, each with their own role, weapon type, combat style, and abilities. I personally opted to go the full DPS route because, in my opinion, I don't need healing if all the enemies that could deal damage to me and hurt me are dead. But that doesn't mean that supports aren't a necessity, because they are. Your team occupies the left side of the battlefield after deployment, and enemies occupy the right. Allied waifus and enemy waifus jump across the screen, trying to murder one another in an attempt for supremacy. You can use a special ability located towards the bottom of the screen called a Neolith. These have a variety of usages and rarities, so it's integral to understand the impact that they'll have on your specific team composition. Speaking of team composition, there's more to team synergy than selecting the 6 hottest waifus, even though that is what I typically tend to do in gacha games. Yeah, nobody said I was the best gacha gamer. Every waifu has a faction, and characters from the same faction synergize in the form of a leader buff. The leader buff rewards players who build their team around a larger number of SSR rarity characters sharing the same faction. As an example, 2 SSR characters from the same faction will provide you a plus 90 boost to the attack of all units, where 5 SSR characters will provide you 6700 HP and a 5% increase to resistance percentage. Building the perfect team requires patience and resources. Thankfully, leveling and upgrading them isn't a difficult nor arduous task. Navigating over to the case character screen, you'll find a list of all your waifus. As I noted earlier, all the waifus are very attractive. Like, meld your phone hot. Don't look at them in a public area where people can see what's on your phone kinda hot. Selecting them allows you to level them, use biochips to break through, increasing their rank and therefore power, or augment them via materials farmed throughout numerous stages in the game. There's also an equipment function allowing you to farm gear for your characters. Upgrading and leveling gear is another way of increasing unit power. You can also track unit affinity via their character screens, which you can increase via gifting. Affinity level directly affects the statistical bonuses you receive, so evidently there are a number of avenues that affect total power. But what use do we have for power? I've talked about the main method of progression, expeditions. There's also the regression feature accessed via the expedition menu. The regression feature is similar to the main expedition game mode, but allows you to explore larger areas that are much less linear. These feature stories, battles, and events that are disconnected from the story progression, providing a change of pace for players that want something a little different. There's the patrol feature. This allows you to engage in various other gameplay modes: cage fight, abyssal dive, harvest, host purification, desperate operation, chimera contact, and liberation. These game modes vary in terms of rewards, but function as a means with which to obtain rare materials, gear, and currency used for upgrading, leveling, and character progression. In terms of non-combat activities, we have the Complex. This acts as a base of sorts. There's the Showroom, which allows you to unlock and activate unique boosts and bonuses for your characters and account. The Intelligence Center, which provides you account-wide statistical increases, including the upgrading of your character rarity. There are dormitories that have a number of benefits like buffs, and more importantly, you can pick up your favorite waifus and have a little bit of fun with them. But don't make this weird. There's the Work Agency, which is a means to obtain additional resources accumulated over time, and the Leisure Center, which gives you additional options for waifus. There are several events running right now, Steel Ambition, Trials of Iron and Fire, that provide you a ton of goodies for logging in every single day. The 7-day check-in, which gives you even more, like Fenriru on day 2, a 10 pull on day 3, Fenriru's incredible outfit on day 4. I mean, let's be honest here, day 4's reward is more than enough reason to log in. We really need no further motivation as men of culture. There's a gacha system present. This allows you to roll for waifus, like all of the incredible characters I possess. You receive a guaranteed SSR character for your first 10 pull, which is always appreciated. I don't know if this is just me, but I genuinely hate when you start a new gacha game and the studio, they don't give you a guaranteed max rarity unit at the beginning of the game. So you start the game off with really weak units, and obtaining a max rarity unit becomes a chore, is difficult, and if you're unlucky, it takes you much longer than other players to obtain. Every 10 pull guarantees you an SR character, and finally, by merely playing the game, you're given several additional guaranteed SSR characters with 10 reroll attempts. This is incredibly generous of the studio, and honestly something every gacha game studio should provide their players. There are additional banners to pull from, but I know you're all here for the waifus. And that's Echocalypse, an idle RPG with insanely hot waifus, great special effects for abilities and combat, a long narrative progressed via the expedition game mode along with other activities to consume your time. I genuinely had some fun in game, but at the same time I know idle games aren't for everyone, and that is perfectly fine. But there are millions of gamers out there that love games just like this and will no doubt enjoy their time in Echocalypse, which is why I urge you to, once again, use my link down in the description and the pinned comment below to download Echocalypse. Give it a try. Don't waste your time. Just do it. And don't forget to use my gift code. The code will net you 300 currency and run from now until the 14th of January 2024. It's really that easy.